Alright. So the other day I picked up some new Ava's epoxy, and I figured this would be a good one to start doing some work on. I've been on kind of a 2-week break for modeling here, so I figured just to kind of ease my feet back into it, I'd go with some putty work. And just before I finished doing all these seams here, I remembered that I was going to put some blue tape down along each side of the seam, so only the putty would go down the middle. Kind of forgot about that. I can still do it on the top half of the hull. That's why I chose this one, because it was a lot more complicated as far as all the stuff goes here for seams to fill. No matter how wet you get the Ava's, it's still going to act like a, I don't know how to describe it. It's not going to be smooth like toothpaste smooth. It still remains a little chunky no matter what, which is kind of too bad. But it's going to work in this case because the halves of the hull are off so much on one side or the other that I expect to have like a big patch, something like that, as opposed to the other side, which will be clean, or even here where it's this side that's low, it's this side up here that's low. So it shouldn't be too bad, and I'm going to take this belt sander here to the surface, and once this is cured, see how it really goes.
This is so beautiful.
Over on the top here, like I said, I haven't done anything as far as putty goes, but what I'm going to try is a squadron test on this to see the difference. But even on a seam like this, it does look like there's going to be, even up here, enough overlap that it's going to require an area to be patched up rather than just a seam line. And I think I tried a couple different ideas to get rid of the wobble in the saucer here, and none of them were really great. I was thinking buttressing from the inside with either metal or wood or even a heavy acrylic, but ultimately what it came down to is that all these bulges here, because the material is simply pinched together too closely. So the solution is demonstrated right here. I had to undo the seam, and just basically I sliced until all the excess was away, and now this line is going to be completely straight. And I'm pretty sure because it's off axis with the upper pie wedges, it's going to be really strong for essentially a long time. I haven't decided on whether I'm going to fill the seam along the edges or not. It's pretty much symmetrical all the way around. And what I figured I'd do before I got too far, here's a good example of the seam popping up.
Your friend's beating up the apple.
Can be pushed down, but then that warps the upper dome.
You had my back after all the shit we got.
But
What they care about.
all I gotta do is get an X-Acto and start cutting. Hey everybody. So I don't remember what I did in the last update, but essentially all the Ava's cured, and I took an orbital sander to it for good parts here and there. This side I less concentrated on, and this one got more concentration. I finally sealed both halves of the hull together. I figure there's really nothing more I can do about it. The way I sliced all these ridges up is basically I took a grinding wheel on the Dremel and put a notch right in there, and I'll just fill that up. Definitely going to a little bit of an extreme, but it was guaranteed to work, and from what I saw overall on the warp, it is far less significant than it would have been otherwise. To seal both halves together, I went with regular model cement so I'd get a nice good binding. So basically I snaked a lot underneath the insides there, and then I actually filled in that ridge with just solid glue as much as I could. This side has a much tighter fit, so I was kind of surprised to see that it's off. It's not a big deal, and all the internal latches here, those are all on, so that's not too bad at all. This is definitely going to be for flight mode forever, basically. I will put a light pack into it, so that will not be too difficult, really, and should be very economical, actually. So that'll be a rotating red LED situation, and more details on that when I get to it. once these last two wedges here are dry from the cement glue, I'm going to flip it over and try the tape experiment where I mask off just the seam, and then I'm actually going to go with some squadron. The Avis is not quite really great for filling in large areas, because no matter how wet you get it, it's still not going to smooth over like warm butter or anything. So the squadron might work if it's done with a lot of precision, and we'll see how that experiment goes. Otherwise, this one is going to take a back seat for a long while. One more test coming up, then it sits off to the side. I had thought this could go together relatively quickly, but I've decided to engage on an overall resurfacing of the entire hull there. The top side is still mar free, so I'm going to see if I can do that cleaner. So this will be an experiment in two different methodologies overall, I think. Let's see which one comes out better. So that'll be it for this update, and this should all be dried and cured tomorrow, and I can see what it looks like on the other side and try some experiments. See ya.